Alright, I'm standing back up for this one. I want to talk about how, like, for some reason, at least maybe it's just me, but it feels like in the face of doom, art prevails. Because, I don't know, it's kind of been I don't want to say a turning point in my life, but I've been, I would say my perspective of life has changed dramatically. And it always has, I feel like, the last 6 years or so. The way I see and the way I think of life has always constantly evolved, and it's changed a lot. But I think it's like now it's like because maybe I'm with this channel, I'm documenting it. I'm being able to like see myself talk to myself. But I've always recorded my thoughts on like voice memos and like heard it back or written songs and seen how my lyrics were representing my personality or my ideology and how that's changed, or writing poems and seeing how like the way I thought about those things changed. So I've always had an understanding of what I or documented the way I was thinking, so I can understand how it changes. But I don't know, like right now, it feels like there's fantastic music dropping. I really like the Jackman album. I went back to some Daniel Caesar's album was fantastic. I went back to Blood Orange's Negro Swan album, which is very good. I was listening to Mac Miller's Circles album, which is fantastic, and it's just like I've been going back to pop songs, and I really like pop songs when I used to hate them completely. So there's like fantastic music dropping. Um, there's artistic curiosity resurfacing in many different like genres, or artistic mediums like high fashion. A lot of people are into high fashion models and all these things. You know, they're more famous than ever. These brands are blowing up. It's getting more documented, more coverage. There's also different artistic mediums with new recognition, like poetry, reading became a hobby for a little bit. Everyone started reading again, which was nice. Architecture, photography, painting. And I think one way to see it too is like there's so many more YouTube channels now covering these things. Like there's so many new fashion channels like Thread Education, and so many others that are doing kind of like these little mini series documentaries on different designers, fashion houses, their history, collections, and all these things. Painting channels, there's so many new ones now. So the last thing I mentioned was photography. Um, there's also other things like niche sports are coming back. I know I'm interested in like skateboarding, skiing, surfing, which I haven't gotten to do yet. But there's like things like racquetball, which kind of like starting to be trends. And it's nice seeing these sports because everyone gets to find something that they enjoy, and that's physical exercise, and they get to practice their craft at something. I feel like bodybuilding and gym is like bigger than ever. Looks maxing is a thing. Being alone or the popular loner is becoming less of a cool thing to be, and people are being more outgoing and all these things. Or maybe those are just the things I'm more involved in. Um, I might just be more involved in today than consumed with the fear of tomorrow, and maybe that's why I'm noticing like the appreciation in these things. I've been more hopeful and optimistic than ever. I don't have a pessimistic view on love anymore. I've realized life is short and sweet, and beauty in anything is in its fragility. And I'm glad I can appreciate it. Nothing good lasts forever, and life is awfully romantic. Well, not awfully, but it's life is extremely romantic, is what I meant to say. And I think that's a beautiful thing. We're only this young once, and we get to do everything we can today, and we might never get a chance to experience it again. I don't know, I see the fun and potential, the temporary, the fun in falling in love for a summer or a weekend, the fun in the grind or the process of learning an artistic medium, the fun in the risk of putting yourself out there to be judged by others, being joyous to know we only get to experience every age once, and forever stamp them with lessons, memories, and stories. I'm seeing the world, meeting people. I'm enjoying pop music, like I said. I care so little about I care so little about like anything, and kind of care nothing about anything I see online. I don't have any more social media. I kind of only just have like YouTube, but even that is a form of social media. I'm not obsessed with like anyone or any celebrity or even sports anymore, specifically like one thing, and nothing I see online. So I don't know, I feel like the only thing I'm really obsessed with is like potential in every day, the chance to really do something every day. I think that's extremely interesting, but at the same time, this is what I want to talk about in this video. It seems like the world is falling apart around us. There was another school shooting on Sunday the 7th. Not school shooting, sorry, a mass shooting at a mall. There's a school shooting or a mass shooting all the time. California is falling apart. There's like fentanyl and drug addicts everywhere. There's a huge homeless crisis across the country. Immigration is higher than ever. They don't even have place for people. New York is using up Central Park. It's like there's impending wars happening all around the world, like always. Economies are crashing. They're expecting the dollar to crash soon. And so many like different things are like kind of stacking upon each other, and a lot of people are making a similarity to the Roman Empire, and how it fell and how everything became centralized and or maybe decentralized. It's kind of the same thing, even though it sounds completely even though that sounds ironic. I don't think it is. So they kind of the shift and the trends are quite similar. So people are kind of expecting like the US and the current like dollar structure to fall as China keeps making deals to trade in its own currency, and Latin America is doing deals with China, and everyone's kind of stepping away from the dollar. People are noticing these trends, right? So this is all happening at the same time that I feel like art is kind of booming, or artistic expression in a art in its broad sense, right? But I was searching it up, and they were saying that there was also a huge change in art at the time when the Roman Empire was declining, because there was no longer a demand for it from rich, powerful people to paint specific things. So artists were kind of doing their own thing and no longer doing it for money, and kind of the things and the genres and the methods, the subjects of art and paintings was completely changing while the decline was happening. And so maybe that's what I'm talking about, maybe it's not, but it feels like it's a great time to be alive in the middle of a mess. But I also think we should always believe it's a great time to be alive, because we're given a deck of cards, right? We're given the cards we're given. We just have to play with them. There's nothing else we can do. All we can do is enjoy what we have and make the most of the opportunity. So I don't know, I feel like it's only fitting that the way I think about things changes as the world changes. I mean, we should be changing always, right? Always adapting. But it's like I find it kind of interesting that something that usually requires, I guess it doesn't, but something that it's like easy, something that we appreciate when life is good, which is like art. Because you can't care about art if someone's bombing your house, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It seems like those things are, it's like in the near doom, we have like, the most artistic expression is what it feels like right now that I've seen in so long. Or I feel like 5 years ago no one cared about paintings, and or maybe it was just me, and maybe I'm more involved in these things, and I guess it's, if you're watching this, let me know if you agree, if you're seeing like similar trends.